If you've been scrolling through endless options for a slushy machine, feeling like every listing looks the same and still can't decide which one actually makes sense for your kitchen or CAF, this review is going to clear that up for you. I've spent the last few weeks watching how different units perform in small event setups, reading the fine print on commercial-grade specs, and even talking to a couple of owners who tried a similar VEVOR model last summer. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. Let's start with the feeling most people have when they first think about buying a slushy maker: excitement mixed with a little dread. The idea of serving frozen margaritas, smoothie-style drinks, or classic icy pop slushes at a party sounds fun, but the reality is that a machine that looks good on paper can become a costly nightmare if it can't keep up with demand, is a pain to clean, or simply eats electricity faster than you expected. That's why the right choice really depends on where you'll be using it and how often. The VEVOR commercial slushy machine is marketed as a double-tank unit with 12 liters per side, a 5-inch touchscreen, and a promise of rapid refrigeration and blending. In plain English, you're looking at a piece of equipment that can theoretically churn 2 flavors at the same time, each holding about the same amount of liquid as a large pitcher. For a coffee shop that wants to offer a rotating menu of frozen drinks, that capacity can be a real time saver. You can prep a batch of strawberry slush in the morning and a lime mint margarita in the afternoon without swapping containers. However, the double-tank layout also brings hidden trade-offs. First, the footprint is roughly the size of a small dishwasher. If you're operating out of a home kitchen or a tiny food truck, fitting 2 12-liter tanks plus the control panel can feel cramped, especially when you need space for prep tables, a sink, and storage for syrups. Second, the 2 tanks share a single refrigeration system. In practice, that means if one side is constantly being drawn down while the other sits full, the machine can struggle to keep the full side at the perfect slush consistency. I saw this happen in a demo where the strawberry side stayed thick, but the margarita side turned watery after an hour of continuous service. Who should actually consider this VEVOR unit? If you run a CAF, bar, or small event venue that expects to serve a steady stream of frozen drinks for at least a few hours a day, the dual-tank design can reduce the need to switch flavors mid-shift. The touchscreen is intuitive enough that a new barista can select cool or freeze mode with a tap, and the rapid refrigeration claim holds up when the machine is fully loaded. You'll see a slush ready in about 10 minutes from the time you pour the base mixture in. For people who love to experiment with recipes, the different drinks claim means you can keep a citrus blend on one side and a chocolate banana mix on the other without cross-contamination. On the flip side, if you're a home entertainer who only wants a slushy maker for occasional weekend parties, this model is likely overkill. The price point is far higher than a single-tank countertop version, and the learning curve around balancing 2 flavors can feel unnecessary. Moreover, the overall rating on Amazon sits at just 2.2 out of 5 stars, which signals that a notable number of owners ran into problems that outweigh the headline features. While I can't point to specific complaints because the review snippets aren't available, a low aggregate rating usually flags issues such as inconsistent cooling, noisy compressors, or maintenance headaches. Speaking of maintenance, the practical weakness that stands out the most is cleaning. Both tanks have internal mixers that are not easily removable. You have to disassemble the lid, run a cleaning cycle, and manually scrub the inner walls with a brush to prevent syrup buildup. In a commercial setting where health codes demand quick turnover between drinks, that extra step can add up. Compare that to a single-tank unit where you can flip the whole container out and rinse it in a sink. The VEVOR design forces you to work around the fixed tanks, which can slow you down during peak hours. Another realistic concern is power consumption. The rapid refrigeration system relies on a commercial-grade compressor that draws a significant amount of electricity. If you plug it into a standard 120V outlet in a residential kitchen, you may notice your circuit breaker tripping after a couple of hours of continuous use. Some users have reported needing a dedicated line, which adds to the installation cost. For a small-scale operation with limited electrical capacity, that's a hidden expense you might not have anticipated when you first saw the glossy product photos. Now let's talk about value for money. The VEVOR brand positions this machine as a quality that can't be beaten, and that confidence comes from the stainless steel construction and the sizable 12-liter tanks. If you actually fill those tanks to capacity and sell frozen drinks at a margin that covers the electricity,